The Sunken Garden is located in Forest Park, just off of 9th Street in Shelbyville. If you drive on around the road that goes one way around, it's just to the north of the white fence. The garden was begun in 1932. Before that, it was actually a pond. We have a map, 1911 map, where the Sunken Garden, it says it's a pond at that site. It was built by damming up a ravine, and we speculate that the Sunken Garden was actually this pond that Chautauqua Days people would swim in on hot July days whenever they were there meeting for Chautauqua meetings. Then the pond dried up, and it actually became a trash dump because that was the early 1900s version of a landfill. In 1932, Reverend William Knapp and a gentleman named Stan Young actually wanted to beautify the area, so they started the Sunken Garden. They used WPA help at the time. It was readily available. During the early 30s, there was a lot of people looking for work. From then on, we actually have had the Sunken Garden. They helped to build all the structures. There's a stone grotto there, and various stairways that went down into the garden, and also a lot of retaining walls that held up around the sides. But then as the years go by, 85 years is a long time, then the retaining walls kind of slide down the hill because they're dried stone, and the stairways were kind of in disrepair. So in 2001, this restoration began with the park crew. They ended up redoing all of the retaining walls there. After the retaining walls were redone, then there were some plantings put in. They used gravel mulch. So then by 2009, the garden club actually came on the scene then, and they started working in the garden. We have 4 people now working in the garden, and we actually need a lot more help. We do have the horticulture class. They've been very gracious to come out and help. They come out several times a year. The garden has traditionally been a site for weddings. It's been a wedding venue for a long time. We do have some photos of a 1973 wedding. So 40 years ago, over 40 years ago, people were getting married there. And while we were doing all the construction, people still continued to get married. We had stacks of blocks sitting all around, and I was really in awe that they wanted to get married in the Sunken Garden. There's some romance there, I guess. In 2012, when we were able to get the water running in the grotto again, there was one young lady who was out there the week before her wedding, and she said, "Is the water going to be running?" And I said, "Well, it's supposed to be, you know." And fortunately, we were able to get it running, but there were no sidewalks, you know. It was just kind of a dusty mess at that time. But she was elated that the water was running in the grotto for her wedding. It's something unique that's to Shelbyville. I don't know of any other gardens that have a grotto like ours. Many people come out to the garden because it's a solace to them. They come out to enjoy it because of the calming effect that it is. They come out to just to sit quietly to watch wildlife. We watch hummingbirds on the Monarda. We watch many pollinators, bees, certain types of bees. We do have a lot of native plants out there. It's a place to come and enjoy.
I do remember when I was a little boy, the baler that I have brought for display today, it will actually bale hay. My great-granddad made that, and it was a salesman's model, and it is to scale, and he would take that. Fairs were a big thing back in those days to get exposure for products. And so he would take this model that I have now to show farmers and dealers how the baler actually worked, because it will actually bale tiny bales of hay. And I remember when I was a little boy, my granddad would let me take that model down off the shelf, and he would give me Easter egg grass, and I would sit there for hours and hours just making dozens and dozens of tiny little bales of Easter egg grass. My great-grandfather was Horace Tallman, and he was in the hay business for many, many years, starting in probably the late 1800s. And the equipment that he used in his hay business, the hay balers, presses, he was always trying to improve upon them. And so it got to the point where he and his sons bought Ann Arbor Baler Company, moved it, the whole factory. There's, I believe, something like 20 trains full of equipment to Shelbyville, and they began manufacturing the Ann Arbor baling press. The early balers would be brought to the field. The first ones were horse-drawn. The wheels would be removed, and the baler would actually set on the ground, and a horse would walk around in circles to make the power for the baler. The hay had to be brought to the baler and put in the hopper by hand with pitchforks. A later model was actually powered by either the power takeoff of a tractor, or it could have a gasoline engine mounted to it. It also basically stayed in one spot in the field, and the hay was brought to it. It took 3 men to operate it, one to feed the hay into it, and a man standing on each side of it to feed the wire through and hand tie the bales, one man on each side of the machine. What my great-grandfather is most noted for is that he invented the pickup portion of the hay baler. So now, with this invention, you didn't have to bring the hay to the baler, and so you would actually pull the baler through the field with a tractor, when they used actually a small Caterpillar crawler. You see in most of the pictures, pulling the baler, and they would windrow the hay much like they do today, and then the baler could pick up its own hay and feed it into the baler itself, and speeded up the baling process by a great deal. I'm very proud of the fact that my family had something to do with that, and that they had the foresight to be inventors and to see things and want to make them better, and improve the function of mechanical things. Shelbyville's got several very notable things first that had an effect on the entire world.
My name is Mark Sanders. I'm a minister and pastor of Shelby Christian Church here in Shelbyville. We are a part of about 15 or 16 other churches in the community. Our church is an independent Christian church. We didn't have an independent Christian church in Shelbyville in 1973. And so some families got together, and they met in the high school. So happens that about 50 to 60 people showed up for that meeting and decided it would be a good thing to start an independent Christian church. So in 1976, we purchased a building 2 doors down from the post office. Actually, we rented that building, and it was an old hatchery, old chicken coop, as it's more affectionately called, the chicken coop. Of course, it took a lot to prepare that for worship and to use for the church. A lot of cleaning, of course, of the walls, you can imagine. But a story, you can't talk about the hatchery without talking about where the folks would come in on Sunday morning, and they're sitting there for worship, and all of a sudden it starts raining. Well, there's streams of water running on the floor under people's feet. The church started growing from that point. It grew to the point some churches came together and helped us to buy a facility out on Spruce Street, or out on 128. And that was an old senior citizens building. There was just a little entryway into that building, but they put their heads together and decided to build it a little larger and put a roof on it with a steeple, so it looked very much like a church building. But it was about 5 years later that they decided, they had the vision that since we were growing and lacking in space, they bought 5 acres of farmland just right out in the middle of, there was nothing around, and built a 2-story building. At Shelby Christian Church, a big part of our program are with the children in the community. We have a preschool that operates from 8 o'clock to 10:30, 5 days a week. We are able to minister to 28 children, prepare them for kindergarten. It's not like, unlike any other preschool in that they go on field trips. They have special guests come in. Another program that we have is our GAP program, which is an acronym for the God After School program. We have approximately 35 children Monday through Friday, but that's a big help from 3 to 5 for parents, to where one, their children, if they're faced with the difficulty of having kids home alone, I think this program is able to help that. But at the same time, we also help with homework to ensure that they have their homework done before they go home. And that's a big help for parents. But I like the community really too, because of the closeness of the people. People in the community, most everybody knows one another, and that's really nice. Although we're growing, but it's just the people is what really makes the town. And they pull together to do things that one would imagine that you couldn't do in a small town.
I'm amazed at the response that we get from the community, the sponsors, and everybody that wants to be involved in the program. I really think that it's probably exceeded any expectations that we've had going into bringing the event into town. Again, I don't really think about the economic component of it, so the tax base and the businesses thrive during that weekend when we tie it with Scarecrow Days, the number of people that show up and the excitement that it brings. We were very surprised on our Friday night flights, our Saturday morning fun flights, and our Sunday morning fun flights. Basically those 2 mornings, the pilots will do a task. They'll play ring toss on Friday morning at the airport, and we'll do a safety ring toss into a kiddie pool at the beach area. You could have 300-400 people showing up to each one of those flights. The Cookout Glow component, we have upwards to 6,000 to 7,000 people. The town of Shelbyville is right around 5,000 people, so to have 6,000 people, you're bringing people in from the Midwest. The Balloonfest actually started up in the Findlay area. Agricel is a company. The guy that owned Agricel, it was a business out in the country, and they have a goat tower. That's what's well known in the area, is the goat tower. But he had a business based out of there where he had employees all over the country. And their 20th anniversary, he wanted to make a big celebration out of it. So he had helicopters, big tent with food, catered in food and all that stuff, and he thought it'd be kind of nice to have balloons. So that's kind of how balloons came to the area, was actually for a company anniversary party. Kind of took a year off, talked to some businesses, talked to the tourism office, talked to the Corps, and we decided to go ahead and resurrect the Balloonfest and started it in Shelbyville. And it went really well. It was well received. We held some events out at the Forest Park. We held some events at the Corps. There was a government shutdown, so we weren't able to use the Corps property. So we went out to the Shelby County Airport and said, hey, can we use your facility? And they were more than welcome to take us in. So basically everything was kind of evolved around the airport. The following year, there was enough people saying that they really liked the airport, the room out there, the vendors liked being in the hangar. So we kind of decided to keep it out at the airport for the full Saturday event, and then we tied the Friday night and the Sunday morning around the Corps in the visitor center. each year we get more and more sponsors that are interested in participating. I'm really amazed at how the community has accepted the Balloonfest and looks forward to it every year. In 2010, I believe we entered the Governor's Hometown Award and actually received that award. So that was kind of a nice acknowledgement for the efforts that the community and we put forth on the Balloonfest. The nice tie-in to the Balloonfest is we use it the same weekend as Scarecrow Days. So you have balloons going in the morning, and then during the day you can take part in the Scarecrow Days activities, and then in the evening you got the Balloonfest again. So it was a really good marriage to have the Balloonfest tied to Scarecrow Days. The Touchstone Energy balloon, which we bring into the event, and is the sponsor for the event, bringing it in, we get money back from Touchstone, and so that money then can go to the fire department, the Shelby County Rescue Squad, the dive team, different philanthropic causes. The balloon pilots that we have come from the Midwest. We'll have a couple from Chicago, we have some from Missouri, some from Iowa, some from Indiana, and then a good chunk of them are just in Central Illinois. They like the colorful balloons when they see them. It's family oriented. The Cookout Glow has things for the whole family to come out and do. You can wake up Saturday morning, go have breakfast out at the airport, watch balloons leave. There's airplane rides, and then you can spend the day in town at the parade, visit the different vendors, the different shops, and then you can end the day out at the airport again with a nice dinner and a lot of fun for the whole family. It's just a great event, and it's a great community event with all the people that get behind it.
There we go. Now this is what you call a party.
That's right. That's right.
This is what you call a party.
Great stories tonight from Shelbyville. We're having so much fun tonight. We hope you are enjoying the show just as much as we are.
We are. You know, when we did the premiere last week at the Visitor Center, which you just saw the program on it, we told everybody, please come with us and come and visit us next Thursday night. And are you having a good time?
Yeah.
We told you you would come. And this wouldn't be fun if the storytellers didn't come, and the friends, of course, of WEIU as well. So we get some thank yous to give.
All right.
But remember, the phone number's on the screen. If you have not called in tonight, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. If you've enjoyed the program, we do hope that you will support WEIU and us doing a program like this for your community. For one DVD, it's $75 gift to WEIU, and 2 or more end up being $60 each. I'd like to give some shout outs. We'd like to thank Richard and Suzanne Harris from Urbana.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
John's high school English teacher, Nancy Wilhelm, she called in and she got to talk to John, and she loved talking to him. Greg and Roseanne Reynolds from Shelbyville, thank you so much. Carol Smith from Shelbyville, and Blaine Ball called in, and he said he's sending this DVD to his friends, the McGuires of McHenry, Illinois. So thank you for doing that. And Joe Dunaway called, and he said he is glad that he's watching it and wanted to just give a shout out. So thank you for calling.
All right, great. Well, as a reminder again, if you are sitting there and you haven't got your copy of Shelbyville, This Is Our Story, this is your chance. We're live right here in WEIU TV studio in Charleston, Illinois, but we're talking about Shelbyville tonight. One copy is $75, 2 or more is $60 each, and this is a great gift to give to anybody that you love around the holiday season. So speaking of some storytellers that we just had a few minutes ago, you were the last story before we went to break. This is Kevin Burnson. He's with Shelby Electric Cooperative, so great story.
Yeah,
you got a lot coming up here soon, don't you?
Yes, it's a great story. First, I need to throw a shout out. I got a text from somebody having a viewing party here in
good.
Shelbyville, Marla, so you guys need to get on the phone and order a copy if you haven't already.
Hey, there you go.
But yeah, Shelby Electric Cooperative, we're going to have our 80th anniversary next year, so we'll have been in the community 80 years. We serve all our parts of 9 counties, and we're basically an electric distribution cooperative. So if you're a member, if you get electricity from us, you are a member owner of the cooperative. So it's going to be kind of neat to celebrate 80 years next year, going into next year. So kind of ties into our, yep, exactly. Balloonfest is one way. We help with the Festival of Lights. We help with a lot of different things around the community.
That's great. Well, we appreciate your support as well for WEIU. And if you appreciate his support as well as Shelby Electric Cooperative, tell him thank you. Give him a call right here. The number's at the bottom of your screen. Jana, back to you.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you so much. This is sweet Norma Jean Hubbard, Old Mother Hubbard. Well, she gave herself the name, Old Mother Hubbard. So there were a couple things in your story that you didn't get to share for the program, so tell us what you were going to tell us tonight.
Well, one of the things was when Josephine learned from her grandfather how motors ran, she learned from her grandfather Fitch about steam, because he invented the steamboat.
Wow.
He put it in the water before Robert Fulton even thought about it, but he didn't get a patent. And so she learned also when you invent something to get a patent, or somebody else will come along and get it, which Robert Fulton did.
Wow, so good thing she learned the lesson, huh?
Yes, and she also learned that in the United States it took a year to get the patent approved. In England it only took 6 months. So that was another thing that she learned.
Wow, well,
She was really a woman before her time, as the old
I'd say
saying goes.
so. I would love to have met her, and thank you for sharing that story. What a great story for Shelbyville. So thank you, Norma.
Thank you.
Let's send it back on to Ken.
Okay.
So I've got some more thank yous that I want to give a shout out to. We've got Peter Quinn from Charleston, and he gave in honor of his mother Shirley and great aunt Amber. And he is with Ambro Antiques in Charleston.
Thank
so
you,
thank
Peter.
you, Peter. Also got another shout out from friends of Brother Darrell and Lisa Best. They're watching from Foley, Alabama tonight, and it's Steve and Linda McWhorter. So thank you. And we cannot forget about this. You're wearing purple tonight for a reason.
Yes.
This is all about Shelbyville Rams right here. And we are supporting Shelbyville because the Rams will be playing in the semifinal playoffs this Saturday, and they are one game away from playing in the state championship. So yay! Go Rams! There you see the helmet right over there.
Isn't that great?
Good luck.
This is what's really cool about being a television station. We're here tonight, and we can celebrate a local football team. How exciting is that for them?
It's awesome. Good luck to you. We hope you win.
Yeah, we sure do. We are having so much fun, and right now there's a couple phones that haven't been called yet. We need you to get on that phone and support Shelbyville, Illinois, the program that WEIU was able to participate with and partner with. We have great underwriters that help support this program as well, but we need you to call now. We have worked very hard on this program, but we could not have done it without the underwriters and the storytellers that helped put it together.
Yeah, it's the people from your community, Shelbyville, Illinois, that has supported this program. They're supporting public broadcasting, and you are doing that tonight by giving us a call and giving your gift of support and saying, I want a copy of that. That's really something special.
We said earlier that what if you're sitting out there tonight and you're enjoying the program, you're learning something, and you're like, wow, maybe I should get two of them, one for myself and one for a family member, maybe a mother or a father or somebody that doesn't even live in Shelbyville anymore that you would love to send and surprise them. We can, if you would like, you can order it, and we'd be happy to put it in the mail with a card. And when they come in, they'll be in about 4 to 6 weeks, and we'd be happy to do that for you.
The phones are getting a little bit quiet, so don't sit there any longer. Don't think, oh, maybe I'll call next break. Call right there. That's Mark Sanders. He told a story in the last break. And we also heard about Dave Tallman. He's the chief of police over there in Shelbyville.
Yes.
He told the story of the hay baler, and that was a really neat story, too.
He did a great job. You know, he's such a big man, and he looked so tough. And I love that he wore his uniform and was able to be interviewed in that. So thank you for doing that.
We've got some more stories coming up in just a few minutes. Jerry Yockey from Shelbyville will be sharing about the bike trail over there. Such a neat thing. Martha Kinsel, she was an ER nurse for 40 years, and we're going to be hearing about the hospital.
That's a great story.
Carol Kessler will be on. Mike Fraser is going to be talking about the Shelbyville Daily Union. So more stories are going to be coming your way, but we want to hear these phones ringing right now.
If you know any of the storytellers that have told their story tonight, think about that. They spent time researching, gathering the photos. They came, and a lot of them were nervous to come and be interviewed. I don't know why. We're the ones that interviewed them, and we're really nice people most of the time. But they did come, and we sat down, and we just had this great conversation. And what happens when we have a conversation with people, we get a piece of their life. We know it's very interesting, and we become friends with them. So we truly, when we interview people and we put together a program, we become friends. And it's not just for tonight, it's forever. And let's talk about forever. We're just not going to be airing this one time and never be seen on WEIU again. Talk about that.
No, we're going to be airing this program tomorrow night, throughout the weekend, so you'll be able to see it several times. But we also have some special Our Story programs coming up over the Thanksgiving holiday as well. So we're very thankful, and that's why we put this program out there for the communities that support us. And so when you have your family and your friends around and you're sitting there after you've stuffed yourself on some turkey and some stuffing and eating your pie, turn on WEIU and share all the local history from all of these great communities. This is our 8th program that we've promoted or produced on the Our Story series, and so we're very thankful for all of our friends that we've made.
And each and every one that we've done, this has been our 8th, every community has it's very unique. Some people do a lot, you know, it's just amazing the things that little communities can do because they all work together. And that is a very special thing. So I get goosebumps just thinking about the things that little small towns do, you know. You don't have to have thousands and thousands of people in your community to make a difference.
And you know what? This show tonight started out with 3 people.
3 people.
3 people in Shelbyville, and it's become what it is tonight, a real success. And thank you so much to Shelbyville. You deserve a round of applause.
Let's give them a round of applause. You know, a lot of times when we come into a community, you know, we ask people, have you seen the Our Story series? And a lot of people say, yeah, we do, but I don't know if we want to be involved because I'm embarrassed or shy to be in front of the camera. But just talking to the Shelbyville storytellers tonight, it is a great opportunity for them to share their story, become a part of history, and a DVD is available, so your family will have it forever.
And you know something else we get asked, where are you going next? Well, we're not going to tell you just yet, but we have it in the plans. So if you're interested in having your community to be a part of the Our Story series, be sure to give us a call and tell us that too. We've also heard from another storyteller here tonight about asking about another town, but you'll have to wait until next week or the week after to get the next town that's coming up.
And I can tell you another thing about being a storyteller. What will happen after tonight or after this weekend, the storytellers will be stopped on the street in Shelbyville, and they'll say, I didn't know anything about that program. Why didn't you ask me to be a part of it? You know, and that's what happens. So when we do come to your community and we ask for you to be a storyteller, come to the meeting, because you know these people did come to our community meeting in Shelbyville, and look where they are today. If they had not stepped up and took that chance on WEIU and Shelbyville, This Is Our Story, we wouldn't have a program today.
No, and you know something else they say is, hey, I saw you on TV. And that's so exciting for all these people who are from Shelbyville, and they took the chance and told these stories and settled their nerves and represented their town. So be sure to
Go ahead.
So be sure to stay tuned. We've got more stories coming your way. Give us a call right now. We're not going anywhere. We've got more stories for Shelbyville. This Is Our Story right here.
Awesome.